Greetings to you folks. Once again, thank you for joining us for day two of the West Indies and Sri Lanka first test in North Sound, Antigua and Barbuda. West Indies ending day two just a few minutes ago, losing 5 wickets in the process. In the ongoing test match there, Sri Lanka yesterday, after 71.5 overs, was bowled out for 308 after losing the toss and was inserted to bat first by the West Indies. The West Indies, in reply, made already after 84 overs, they made 271 for the loss of 5 wickets. Batters to go for the West Indies so far: John Campbell this morning for 39, Brandon King for 31, Kevin Hodge for 16, and Joshua De Silva for 20, and Justin Greaves for 3. Batters at the crease is Amir Django in his second match for the West Indies. He's 78 not out so far. And Ruston Chase, the embattled West Indies captain, very controversial decision when they made him captain. He's not out on 42 thus far. I have with me here Cricket Hall of Fame Honorary Secretary, Mr. Dale Brown. I want to say good evening to all our viewers. Thank you for joining us this evening. Mr. Brown, your opening thoughts on West Indies 2, 71 for 5 at the end of day 2.
Thank you, and greetings once again to our viewers and the persons who are listening worldwide. And again, pleasure to be on another production of the West Indies Cricket Development Academy in conjunction with the Cricket Hall of Fame, which I represent very proudly. Today was a good day for the West Indies. It could have been better, but we take our good, the good with the bad, and I think we saw some application from the batters. I thought that batting on the second day was going to be very crucial because history shows that today would be the easier day for batting. Of all the days there, today would be the easiest day for batting. But the Sri Lankan bowlers bowled very tidily and were very patient, and a few of our batsmen, just were not patient. At least 3 of them perhaps were not patient and basically gave away the wickets. But outside of that, the star of the show has to be Amir Jangu, playing in just his second test match. And he featured in 2 very crucial partnerships. One of them with his Trinidad and Tobago teammate and captain Joshua De Silva, who they stitched together a 52-run partnership for the 4th wicket when West Indies were in a little bit of trouble, losing 2 quick wickets after lunch. And then, of course, the highlight of the day was his partnership with the embattled captain, Ruston Chase, who is just 2 runs short of his highest score in his last 9 test matches. So, which the highest that he has made is 44, and he's 42 not out. And Django, of course, is 78 not out. We have to give all the kudos to Django, and he showed with good application and that you can sit out there and make runs. Um, I know that King should be a bit angry with himself for right after the drinks break, just going for a stroke that, very loose shot at best. But while he was there, he looked fluent. And John Campbell also, right after lunch, didn't get to give himself a chance to settle back in and played a bad stroke, you know. And of course, Joshua De Silva, another loose stroke, very reminiscent of King's dismissal. And those were not great dismissals, but it is cricket, and people make mistakes, and we hope that they learn from them. Um, and hopefully, we hope that Jangu will go on to make a maiden test century. And we hope that Ruston Chase will also go on to make a century of sorts because he has been out of the runs for a very, very long time. So those are my opening remarks. Thank you, Mr. Cadley.
Indeed. When we look at the captain as we seek to analyze each of the five battles that we lost so far, but let's take Ruston Chase into perspective. First on 42 from 105 deliveries with two fours, a strike rate of exactly 40. It's a kind of innings that you require in a test match like this, especially against these subcontinent bowlers that are they are not of expert space, but they are quite accurate wicket to wicket, and they maintain a good line and length for the most part of it. We could see with the partnership with Amir Django that the Sri Lankan bowlers would have got frustrated one of the time and start to bowl a lot of wayward delivery. How much credit does you give the captain for coming in under tremendous pressure, but at the end of the day, he's at the wicket with a man that just started his test career trying to find his feet in test cricket?
I give a lot of credit to Ruston, and of course, quite rightly so. To only have a top score of 44 in over a period of 9 test matches is never good, and a batting average of about 16, that cannot be good. So it's not that it was unjustified. What he would have had to show now is, some resolve, some resilience, and some mental toughness, and go out there and grind it out. And that's exactly what he did. And I will tell you, Mr. Cudlin, I believe that Jangu's batting is what inspired him, because Jangu made it seem as if he was just totally in control of the situation. So just Chase just came in and fed right off of him, and I was very pleased to see that. And Chase did not try to outbat him or anything like that. He played second fiddle to him and allowed him to express himself, even though Django was very circumspect himself.
Yes, fully agree with that assessment. The time that Rust and Chase take to accumulate these runs, is currently now, let's look where he is 42 not out. He needs 8 runs to get the half century. Him getting that half century tomorrow, how much of a confidence that can go into his mind as a captain, as a low order batter right now, and as the premier spinner, half spinner for West Indies across all formats of the game. He has shown that he is a good enough spinner, but it's the batting, the leadership that's what affecting him. But getting this half century tomorrow, we're not trying to look ahead, but as they would say, the commentator curse. Let's see if we can talk some positivity into the West Indies captain Ruston Chase. How likely it is that he will get these 8 runs based on what you have seen late this evening from him?
I would say very likely. His confidence is perhaps the highest it has been in about 3 years in the test format, and he's comfortable coming in at number 7 there. He looked very comfortable, and coming in with another set batter, I believe, as I said before, helped him because Django was well set by the time he came into bat, and he just fed off of him. And listen, Chase hasn't batted well, especially for over a period of time, ever since he became captain, in fact. But we always wish him the very best because any success that he has means that West Indies cricket has some success.
Definitely.
And I really hope and pray that he will make not just a half century, but at least a 75, actually go on to make a century and put the West Indies in the driver's seat and put us in a position where maybe for the first time under his captaincy, West Indies would have won a test match. I know that's way down the line, but this is how we have to think and plan ahead.
Yeah, very much so. Looking at the first wicket we lost this morning, the positive Brandon King looked very easy on the eye. He was there for 52 deliveries, 4 fours with a strike rate of 59.62. With yeah, 31 he got there. But that kind of shot that he plays, was it warranted or was it a good delivery that he had to play at and a false stroke was induced? Describe the as best as you can the dismissal of Brandon King there.
Mr. Codlin, I believe that King looked so fluent. You said easy on the eye, absolutely, and he looked fluent. But you see, when there's a drinks break, it breaks it. It's not just a drinks break, it's also a break of your concentration. And it served to break his concentration. And you have to give the bowlers credit, not for a great delivery, but for forcing him to play and play. And then when you put one wide to him, he thinks he has to play at it because he's used to the bat hitting the ball. So he went for it, but he wasn't settled back down into his groove as yet, and he paid the price for it. So it was not great ball, but it was great strategy by the Sri Lankan bowlers.
Yeah, indeed there. Um, John Campbell was there. He came yesterday. He see out the only over to bowl in the West Indies innings yesterday, and he made 39, 64 deliveries, 3 fours, 2 6, strike rate of 60.94. But for much of the innings, Brandon King took charge. He was starved of the strike, so he was there watching and seeing and getting used to things. But soon as King depart, he wanted to take ownership of the innings and of the game and a reckless shot indeed, a shot that he was never under any pressure, didn't need any risk at all, and just give his wickets away. Your thoughts on him?
Again, John Campbell and King, they are very fluent, and you're not gonna tie them down. They will score runs. There was no need for John Campbell to take that kind of a chance. And once again, Mr. Cardin, I point out, just as how King got dismissed right after the water break, it's the same way Campbell came back right after the lunch break and got dismissed. It was a break in concentration, and he just lost it. The spinner floated the ball up outside the off stump and he tried to clear the boundary for no reason at all. He could have driven the ball down the ground. He could have done anything he wanted to do with the ball, but he decided to try to take on the long on fielder, and of course he lost out. So a very disappointing end to a very promising inning. And all I could do is just shake my head to see one go for 31 and the other one go for 39.
Yeah, indeed. Um, Looking now at Kevin Hodge, 16 he made, 3 fours, very good batting innings from him, 44 deliveries, a strike rate of 36.36. So he wasn't getting the runs as easy as he would have liked. Or the last time he batted, this pitch is far from the pitch that he batted on in New Zealand the last time. But was that delivery a delivery that had his name on it? What's your view on the dismissal of Kevin Hodge? He was bowled by Ranake.
Once again, Mr. Codlin, it was not a delivery that had his name on it. I think they called them Jaffas or something like that. It was not great delivery. But again, what happened with him, the bowler was teasing him just outside the off stump. And if you look at the sequence of deliveries, it was there, he was playing, he left one of them alone and then came back with this one. And he hung his back out there without any conviction, inside edge onto the stumps. Um, Not going to kill him over it, but again, it was a loose attempt at a delivery that he really did not have to play at. But I think, Mr. Codlin, that if somebody bowled 5 balls at you and you had to play them, if the sixth one come, even if you don't have to play it, your mind and your brain get used to you using the bat and touching the ball, and your trigger is to go out and play after it. I believe, and I think that's what happened to him. But it was not a great ball that got him.
Yeah, we're looking now at Joshua De Silva, the West Indies wicket keeper that was out for 2 years, return with the gloves, and much was expected of him. A lot of people, especially in Trinidad, talk about um, is the leading run scorer for the past 2 seasons. He deserves to be in the West Indies team, and there's no doubt that he deserves to be in the West Indies team. But the way he got out, articulate for the viewers, Joshua De Silva dismissal and the hopes that you had for him coming into this game. He was certainly one that you had in your 11 that you picked when we did that preview show some days ago.
Yes, well, De Silva, first I'll give him kudos for being when the West Indies were in a little tricky position and he came in at number 5, by the way, which might be at the test level a little bit too high for him, but that's okay. But that 52-run partnership with Django was very, very crucial. And, even though he was not convincing and he was not fluent, he hung around and stuck around with Django for that good little partnership. And but it was a dismissal, very, very similar to Brandon King's ball pitch up outside off a little away from the body. No need to play at it. It's not threatening you. And he just threw his hands at it and went, not keeping the shot down, no anything. It was just a dead giveaway. I was very disappointed in the manner in which he gave away his wicket under no pressure whatsoever, and he just, you know, um, sometimes you wonder about these players batting for a long period of times and just losing their concentration, which is what he did. The runs were there for him to make, not under any pressure, and he just gave away the wicket.
Yeah. Justin Greaves, the last time he batted in Test cricket, a double hundred in New Zealand, um, he was trying to pull the bat away from the delivery, but um, he took the edge of the bat and he was caught marvelously by um, he was bowled by Asito Fernando and caught by Kushalda Mendes, the wicket keeper for Sri Lanka. Describe for us the unfortunate that would have taken place with Justin there.
Okay, well, again, the Sri Lankan bowlers bowl in tight line and length, and it was in that little corridor just outside the off stump, where he might feel he had to play, but he didn't have to play, but he made up his mind late. So as the ball was going by, he tried to lift the bat out of the way. And unfortunately, the ball, touched the bat and went through. And he was out to a wonderful catch by Mendes, the wicket keeper. And again, those type of things happen in cricket. And sometimes when people, Mr. Codlin, talk about aggression and things like that, he didn't make up his mind early. He made it up late, and he paid the price for that. But again, not going to kill him over it because I can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to leave it alone.
Indeed. When we look now, and let us once again thank all our viewers that tune in to us right now. We have some 200 plus viewers watching us right at this minute. We want to thank you for tuning in to our channel and for listening to us dissect each and every wicket that the West Indies have lost. We're asking you to subscribe to our channel and to keep it locked as we continue to cover these all these days of the first test match between West Indies and Sri Lanka this year. Mr. Brown, Sri Lanka losing um, Lara Kumara in his very first over. Um, how unfortunate it is, and should the ICC now put in a rule for when things like these happen, a team automatically get a replacement player, because clearly this is not an injury by design, but it's just unfortunate that it would have happened to him. No fault of his, no fault of Sri Lanka. But do you believe that they are at a disadvantage in this contest by losing such an important bowler so early in the piece?
No question, Mr. Cadlin. We know it has been the tradition of cricket, but traditions are made to be broken. In any other sport, you have substitutions for varying reasons. In cricket, I don't believe that you should just have substitutions just like that. But in this case, of course, the team is going to be at a disadvantage because I believe that you should name 13 players. The batsman can only replace somebody in the top 5 or 6, and the bowler can only replace somebody that is a full-time bowler, meaning 8, 9, 10, and 11. That's the only person he can replace. Something in there, because you still have to discourage people from trying to take advantage of the rule. But I would agree with you that they need to do something, and they have to come up with a best practice substitution rule. I know they have trialed it over in England in the county in the season over there, and there have been some problems because, of course, some people pulled up injured on the last day of the game and things like that. But maybe you just say you only can do it in the first 2 days or whatever, but you have to safeguard what they say is the integrity of the sport and make sure that people don't cheat. But at the same time, you have to take a chance and do it because I think it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look on a few less were accused that we're on go looking from a West Indian perspective. Asito Fernando, 18 overs, 7 maidens, 25 runs, 2 wickets, economy rate of 1.39. How impressed are you with these bowling figures and his temperament as a bowler?
Very impressed, Mr. Codlin. And who does he remind me of? He reminds me of Kimar Roach.
Yes.
Nothing fancy, nothing up and down, just consistent, steady line and steady length. Yes, sir. And so, very impressed with him. To see a man bowl in today's cricket bowl 18 overs and only give up 25 runs, to me, it's totally amazing. Yes, very impressed with him.
Yeah, myself as well. Rajita, not for the first time here in the Caribbean. He was here the last time Sri Lanka was here. He bowled 17 overs, 2 maidens, 65 runs, economy rate of 4.47 runs per over. We have seen the partnership between Amir Django and um, the captain Ruston Chase frustrate him a lot during his third spell in the day. Your thought on him and a few advice if you had been talking to him right now, what he is supposed to come out tomorrow, especially without the service of the premier fast bowler in Lara Kumara.
I believe that he lost his patience. And as you said, he got frustrated. He was perhaps, all things considered, the least impressive of the Sri Lankan bowlers. And he was very loose, especially in that spell that you are speaking about. Yes, he absolutely lost it there. And, you know, which is to the benefit of the West Indies, but at the same time, since you are highlighting them, you would have hoped he would have taken some kind of example from Asita and just focus on his line and length and don't worry and get frustrated about anything. So I think he kind of was disappointing to his team overall.
Very much so. West Indies at the moment 271 for five. What are you looking to see Rustan Jason Amir Django come tomorrow morning and do for the West Indies?
I believe they are going to focus on getting to that 308 with no further loss. And then the last 5 wickets, I'm looking for them to add at least 100 runs. So I'm looking for at least 100-run lead overall, at least that minimum. How we get that 100 runs is another story. But the longer Chase and Django stay there, is the more likely that we are going to have a lead of well over 100. But if they don't stay there for a good length of time, at least one of them, then the first inning lead might just be 50 between maybe 50 or 75. But if they can see out that first half an hour to an hour, West Indies can put themselves in the driver's seat in this test match.
If Amir Django was to make 100 tomorrow, how much pressure that would put on the West Indies selectors to play him in the second test? Because you and I know he's only in this test match because of the unfortunate injury of the regular number four, which is the West Indies white ball captain and prolific batsman in Sheo.
They would, well, it could be pressure, Mr. Codlin, but I don't see it as pressure because they're going to have to play him. The question is who they're going to drop in order to play him. Because if he makes a century, even with just this 78 year now, whatever he adds to it and whatnot, they would be hard pressed to go and drop him. You know, the one test match that he played, I think he made a duck and he made 30 and they never gave him another look in. Now he comes back and he's at 78 not out. If he makes a century, I guarantee you he will be playing in that second test match. The question again, who will they drop? And Hope will have to come back. Once he's fit and ready to go, he will have to come back into the team.
Definitely, and it's at number four where he has most of the success. So it could be a case that they would have to shove up Amir Django or bring him down. But I mean, it's their headache that Rastan Chase making 100 tomorrow. Um, how would that be to answer his critics and to really say to the world, announce to the world, announce to the public here in the Caribbean that look, I came in as captain under controversial circumstances, but I'm here to stay, and this is what I have to show why they made me captain. I came under severe pressure, severe scrutiny, under a whole lot of pressure, but here I deliver in the most trying time. What can be Rustem Chase argument if he makes the 100 tomorrow? Because I don't believe nothing less than that will be sufficient enough to quiet the doubters, and there are many.
The only thing Rustin could say for me, and I do hope he makes that century, the only thing he could say is, I never gave up on myself. And for those who didn't give up on me, I thank you. Because the criticism was justified. It's not like it was unfair. It was justified. He wasn't producing. So if he can come and produce now, I would be the first, and many persons would say, good going, Rastan. And Rastan, all he can say is, I never gave up on myself. That would impress me.
Fair enough argument. Well, I think West Indies getting a 50-run lead tomorrow would be very sufficient. You say they should get a lead over 100. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We certainly will be back to review the day's play tomorrow and to look towards possible um, day 4. We won't be here on day 4 to review, but we'll come back on Monday, which is day 5 to round it off as well. But Honorary Secretary of the Cricket Hall of Fame, Mr. Dale Brown, thank you for joining us this evening. To all our viewers, thank you for sitting in and listening to us, watching us this evening. You know, talking about each and every player that came up for discussion this evening. We certainly appreciate you and invite you to join us back tomorrow for day 3. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for joining us again. Looking forward to having you tomorrow again. Thank you so much. And goodbye to all our viewers.
Always a pleasure, Mr. Cadlin.